Okay, hello. This is a video for operating systems at Indiana State, and the plan is to do this. Alright, we have already talked about xv6, which is a version of Unix-like teaching operating system. I have created a Git repository that has copied theirs. There's a link. So all I did was clone their repository and make a modification so that this will work on our CS server. So you can see the README file. This is their MIT's official version of xv6, and the only modifications, if you look in here, all of these changes from years and months ago are purely from MIT's official stuff. There's a change in makefile from 12 minutes ago, and I have put a comment whenever I'm making a change here to the official version. So you're supposed to set tool prefix in this makefile depending on what system we're running on. On the CS server, on the CS systems, we'll be running on Linux, so this is the right setting for that. We'll be running xv6 inside of the qemu emulator, and that is not in the path. This is where I have put it on our server, so as long as you're on the CS systems, it'll find the qemu emulator. As of fall 2018, this works. Alright, so this is on Git. To grab the code, you can either download a zip file, but it's easier really to use the Git client to do this. So I'm going to log into the CS server, go into the directory that I'm keeping for this class, and I'll say maybe I'll call that xv6 Jeffs. Alright, so this is where I'm going to keep the xv6 version that I'll be demonstrating on the videos and such. I'm suggesting for you that you put a copy of this in your directory, make a directory called xv6-mine and put it in there, and then this is the command to call git to make a clone of that repository. It may ask you for a login. If you do, then you need to have a Git account, and so make a Git account and put the login information if it asks for that. This shouldn't take long. Just long enough to pause. Okay, so that is cloned. Now I have a directory xv6 isu fall 2018, and there's all the source code. They have the makefile set up so that we just do make, and it'll build xv6. And then make qemu no x will start the qemu emulator and run the xv6 that I've just built. The xv6 that I've just built has been put into, if we look at these two files, are those are disk files for the operating system. So I could also put these into other emulators if they understand the disk file, the format for specifying a disk image. Alright, but I'm going to use the qemu emulator because they already have it set up. So that command, make qemu no x, starts the emulator. with xv6. So now I'm sitting here running inside of xv6. So it's just like, I don't know, the 1980s right now, or 1990s, and this is my whole system. It's all text-based. I can ls, and this shows me the files that are on my system. So there's a readme file, which is a text file. There's a cat program for printing or concatenating. There's an echo program, fork test, grep. Init is a program that ran to start the operating system. Kill is a command I can use. ln, ls, make dir. rm, sh is the shell itself. Some tests, word count, and that's it. We can see what the console is later. Alright, so I could look at the README file. That's the README file that just came from, right, this is just the README file that's part of the project. I could make a directory. So now I see my dir down there, and it is, so this is likely the size. The ls program is likely printing the size here, and so the directory entry is apparently 32 bytes. This number here is different than all the other ones, so we'll have to see what that is, and then the 1 probably means something. I can try to go into the directory. So I'm in the directory, and the shell as it is right now is not going to search for where the ls program is, so I can say ls, I have to go up a directory. Alright, and there's nothing here. I could see if the copy command works. Let's see, I could copy so apparently either the copy command doesn't exist or I'm using it wrong. Let's try echo. So there's that, it echoed to the screen. Let's try doing echo. Alright, so now I have a text file, hello.txt, that's in my directory called mydir. And now I'm back up at the top level. Alright, so we can create files, move them around, have folders, and that's what we have at the moment. And let's see. So to get out of here, I have a note here to exit the emulator. Type Control-A-X, and it's terminated. Now I could start it up again, and it still has my information there. So it hasn't changed my files, right, that I created. They're still there. I could make again, just to see if my files are still there. Still there. Make clean to remove all the stuff that was compiled. Make again. And that make clean did reset the file system. Right, so my files I created are gone. If I wanted to save those, then I need to go into the make file and kind of look around. We are using the qemu emulator. So some of the things that we will need, we want to look in the documentation for the qemu emulator. And so this is documentation for that. In particular, keys in the character backend multiplexer. So this Control AX was to exit the emulator. There are some other control sequences that we might use, that we definitely will use. I have another note here. If we want to run this somewhat graphically, we can do that. It won't work for me right at the moment because I don't have an X window system running right now. So I will log back in with my -Y and then try that again. If you're on one of the systems downstairs, then this make qemu with the graphical will work. If you're running it from your home laptop, then you have to have an X Windows system installed. Okay, so now this looks much like it did before. It's printing to the console there, but then this is a GUI X window there. So I can click on pause, reset, power down. And there you go. All right. Let me see if we got through everything we need. Okay, I think we'll stop here. So what we've accomplished is we have gotten our xv6 code and played around with it a little bit. So next up will be writing a utility for xv6. Okay, so writing some C code. We'll put that in a separate video. That's it for now.